Okay, hi everyone. Hi everyone. Good evening from United Kingdom. So let's do a mic check. Let me see if you all can hear me and then we can proceed. So let me know. Can you hear me loud and clear? If you can hear me, just drop an emoji so I know that you can hear me loudly and clearly. Okay? Okay, I'll be depending on you. I'll be waiting for you how to let me know if you can hear me. Just say it with an emoji. That'll be fine. That'll be great. Okay, Elizabeth says she can hear me. Beautiful. CC Fabrics, wonderful, amazing. Oduma De Tolu. Thank you. Okay. Hi everyone. How beautiful people. Good evening from United Kingdom. My name is Nashem J. For those of you who are probably watching for the first time. Okay, I am a nursing lifestyle content creator. Okay, I'm a nurse coach. I help nurses get better. I help you get better. Okay, that's literally what I do, and I share beautiful information that will help you, get better. I have a YouTube channel which is NosMJ TV. I'm on Twitter, proud NosMJ. I'm on Instagram, of course, obviously, proud underscore NosMJ, and I'm on Facebook. Yeah, I'm on Facebook. And that's NosMJ. Once you type NosMJ, you'll find me on Facebook. Forget any other fake account. That's not me. It's just NosMJ. Okay, beautiful. So this evening we'll be discussing. A lot of you have reached out to me regarding this topic. Okay, and I shared a video on YouTube today about similar to this, literally, and it's about becoming an advanced nurse practitioner in the United Kingdom. Everything that you need to know, okay? How to apply, how to get free funding. It's on my YouTube channel. However, I also promised in that video that I was going to bring a friend and a colleague who is currently on this pathway. I'll bring her in to share this experience live with us. People like to see others who have done it. Okay, so I'm bringing someone who has done it, who is on it. Okay, so she'll be joining this live session in a minute. But I just want to encourage you guys to please be kind, be nice with your words in the comment section. Let's keep it civil. And if you've got questions, because we are definitely going to take some questions at the end of our presentation, literally. So there are 4 icons if you're watching on your mobile. There are 4 icons on your bottom right corner of your screen. The only one I want you to be very focused on is the one that has the question mark. So if you have a question, use the one that has a question mark to drop your question, because it's easier for me to access the questions from there. Okay, it's not convenient to be scrolling through my screen to look for a question. Okay, so that would be very helpful if you can do that. Then there's another icon that looks like a kite that you need to use to share, right? It looks like an arrow. Okay, kindly use that one to share the link to this live session with your friends, your colleagues that you believe will find this live session. If you are unable to finish up with this session, be rest assured that I will save it so that you can always go back to it to watch it. In case you missed something, maybe you have to go do something, which is fine. So I'll save this session so you can go back to watch it. So now, let me bring my guest, and she's an advanced nurse practitioner trainee, and she will be enlightening us, shedding more light on this particular topic. So stay tuned. Let me get my guest. All right, so I saw her earlier, but that's okay. So let's see. Let's have our guest and we can crack on. Okay, so just keep sharing. I pulled you. I traveled 7 seas and 7 oceans
to drive me here.
to to bring you here, and I am glad that my journey was not a waste.
No, it wasn't.
Beautiful. Hello,
Just
good
hello. Can
evening.
you hear me though? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Great.
Clearly, I can hear you clearly.
Hello,
Okay.
babes.
Hello. Hi.
I'm good.
Nice to
How are
see
you
you.
doing?
I'm
So
alright.
fine. That's your fine. Fine, yeah.
For your mind. How are you today, my darling?
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, introduce yourself to
Mm.
everybody. I want us to start right away. You know,
That's
introduce yourself to the community.
First of
What's
all.
your name?
Okay, what's my name? First of all, it's my first time doing a live session, and it's very obviously I'm doing it with you, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Esther, and you can call me Fumi MJ, and we are actually namesakes. For those of you that doesn't know, and then so I'm a nurse currently in the UK, and I've been a nurse for a couple of years now. I think about 8, 9 years now. And I currently work in the UK as an advanced clinical practitioner. And I've been doing this role now for a couple of months. It's not been long. I started last year. And I've been a nurse in the UK for about 5 years, and I've worked in different areas in the NHS, honestly. But I think majorly I've always been in care of the elderly. I've always been in geriatrics, in frailty, and I've just worked my time. And then I'm here now.
Beautiful. So, what else do you do apart from being an amazing nurse? What else do you do?
What else do I do? Actually, well, on some days, when I get the time, I do a bit of social media, and I'm literally just starting my YouTube channel. So please, guys, go and subscribe. And I'm going to be dropping my first video very, very soon. I've been promising for a while.
For a while?
Yeah, for a while.
Forever.
But seriously, I'm going to start my YouTube
And
channel. So
what's the name of the YouTube channel?
Fumi_MJ.
Okay,
Fumi
so
MJ. Just search for
the
Fumi
same,
MJ, you'll find me. Just my same, yeah.
the same thing.
Same
And
name.
in case we are unable to answer some questions or there are parts that we are unable to talk at length about or in detail, you can go to our YouTube channel. She will provide everything for you. Okay, so make
Absolutely.
sure you go and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Please go and subscribe.
And
There's gonna be a lot of content.
you are also a traveler, global
Thanks for reminding
trotter
me.
or globe trotter or whatever. I'm
I
surprised you left
travel,
that part.
yes.
You
Yes,
think you can
yes.
escape?
No, I'm just don't mind me. So I do love to travel as well,
Mm-hmm.
and I like to share my experiences on my travel
Okay.
trips. I've
Okay.
not been doing that quite, recently, but I'm just getting my way back. Life has been really busy,
Life in.
settling into a new role. Life has been lifing basically, but yes,
That's
please, you will catch me on YouTube these days. That's what I'm gonna be.
We are looking forward to it, especially me. You know how deeply I'm looking forward to. So currently, what specialty are you?
Oh, so I work in geriatrics.
Okay.
You can call it frailty. You can also call it care of the elderly. Any word you decide to go for is fine.
Okay.
But I'm currently an advanced clinical
In
practitioner. You can also
geriatrics.
call that, yes,
Okay.
in geriatrics, but they're different specialty. But I'll let you ask the questions. I don't want to jump in to start answering the questions.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah,
So
but yeah.
what was your background like? Where did you get your basic training from?
You mean here in the UK or in
In
Nigeria?
Nigeria.
Which one? In Nigeria.
Mm.
Oh, actually went to nursing school in Ife. So if
Mm-mm.
anyone actually
Oh, wait, you.
went to Ife, yes, please drop
Okay.
hearts emoji so that I can cite you.
Okay, and
So
then
yes, I went to
mhm,
OAU nursing school many years
mhm.
ago now. Jeez. Oh.
You're old.
And then after that, it was basically just adult
Mm-hmm.
nursing. I didn't do, I know you did peri-op,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I did adult nursing. And after that, I then came into the UK.
Okay.
I then did my top-up degree
Mm-hmm.
with University of Derby. and that was just like a 1 year course to get my BSc, which I did. And then after that, um whilst I was doing that, I was basically working care of the elderly, and then I became a specialist nurse in inpatient falls. So I did a specialist role for two three
Did you say
years 3 years,
patient
which
falls?
inpatient falls. So
Inpatient
it's a
falls. Okay.
falls inpatient falls
Mm,
improvement practitioner, something like that.
okay.
So if you
Okay.
have anyone that works in the NHS, right? If you work in the NHS, if your patient should have a fall, which is very common in the NHS,
Mm-hmm.
I will be the one to come and see the patient. Not
Oh,
everywhere in
good.
in the UK, but
Yeah.
like you get what I mean. Yeah, so that's what the role entailed, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that kind of like built me up quite a
Mm-hmm.
lot. So I think me personally, I've never really had the interest of working on the ward permanently. I think it was just like a phase, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. So
Yeah.
I worked on the ward for quite a few years. I was in a ward that was supposed to be ortho,
Mm-hmm.
but it got switched during COVID to elderly care. So
Okay.
I've always been in elderly care. So
Okay.
that, coupled with the fact that I was working as a specialist nurse, which was majorly the people that fall in the hospital anyway, or the age group that have falls, or the
Mm-hmm.
falls risk
Usually
patients
the
are usually
elderly. Yeah.
elderly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I did work very closely with the geriatric consultant, the
Mm-hmm.
ACPs in frailty. So I
Mm-hmm.
was, really just growing in frailty. And
Mm-hmm.
I then found this opportunity to work as
Mm-hmm.
an ACP in frailty, and I went for it.
Good, because I needed us to go through that phase because people think they can just jump into something. A lot of
Absolutely
times
not.
you cannot jump into it.
You have
You
to put in the work.
need exactly. You need to build it. You need to know what you're going into. You need to know you need to have your plan entirely, and
Yes.
then you work towards
And you
getting
need to
that
work
plan.
towards it
Mm-hmm.
exactly, because most of these roles, they've got like set requirements,
Mm-hmm.
set, things that you have to meet up with
Mm-hmm.
before you can then apply for them or go for them.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, what inspired you to start the ACP course?
Aside from the money part, oh no, that was just a joke. Honestly, right? In all honesty, I think that has always been it for me
Okay.
in terms of career path, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because I was in Care of the Elderly, right, and just looked at it, what do I want to do? Because I wanted to do my masters. When I came into the UK, I was so gingered. I wanted to do my masters. I wanted to do PhD. I wanted to do this, do that, do that.
Bookie.
But but when life started life here, and it's just too much, you just need to take a step backward. But
Mm-hmm.
I didn't let that drive in me go down, if you get what I mean.
Yes.
So I've always wanted to do the next best thing. What's if I'm doing something at the moment, I want to do the next thing. I want
Mm-hmm.
to strive to achieve more. I'm always very career
Mm-hmm.
oriented, for those that know me. But I think well, initially, let me tell you an interesting story. I never wanted to be a nurse from the
Okay.
very get-go in Nigeria. Nursing was never my thing. I did not like nursing. In fact, the mentality that we had about nursing back then,
Mm-hmm.
ah, it was just not my thing. I wanted to
Bring
do
that.
medicine.
Just when you are.
I wanted to be a doctor, and that was it. So,
Mm-hmm.
how I stumbled into nursing, that's a story for another day. But I did nursing, and so I knew that doing nursing, I wanted to get to the top of wherever I find myself in. So I was thinking that at some point I was going to get to the point where I'll do my doctorate
Degree.
degree. Yes. But when I came here, I was trying to explore all the opportunities available, all the specialism.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like theater. I don't like to stand for so long. I was just like, thinking about, I don't know how you guys do it. I can't stand for that long.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about other specialty I could do. But then again, in the UK, it's not just about seeing a specialty and going
Mm-hmm.
into it. You have to work your way into it. So when, say for example, you want to do diabetes
Mm-hmm.
nursing, right? You have to then start looking at courses you need to do in that area.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do endoscopy, you need to go into that roof. And it's always hard when you start going up in a particular area for
Mm-hmm.
you to then switch. So for
Exactly.
example, if you're a band five in you're a band five in maybe a neuro or an
Mm-hmm.
orthopedic ward, and then you go up to be a band six in a specialism related to that
Yeah.
area, like a specialist nurse, it's then hard for you to then or you then go from 6 to 7, it's then hard for you to go from a
Yeah.
7 to then go back to
Yeah.
a different specialty or to switch.
Specialty.
So I
Yeah.
needed to know what exactly I wanted to
Yeah.
do first in terms of specialism. And so I thought about, I know some people, I don't know if you've ever heard of what is called physician associate
Yeah.
before.
Physician
Yes. A
associate.
friend
Yeah.
of mine was talking
You
to
have
me
them in
about that. I was like,
theater.
you know what? That actually sounds something like something I would do. And so I considered physician associates. I was considering doing my master's, and then I looked into ACP. And then I was talking to someone in the hospital one day. She's actually a practice educator, and she's self-funding by herself. She's paying for a course, a master's degree course, and then she's self doing the entire MSc ACP
Wow.
course. And then she was talking to me about it, and then it just sparked my interest. I was like, you know
Okay.
what? This is something I would like to do. I've always
Okay.
wanted to do my master's, but I didn't know
Okay.
what. I was thinking, should I do my master's
No.
in maybe mental health, or should I do it in
Public
adult nursing? I wanted to do
health.
something
The
else.
common ones.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
just didn't want to do my master's in adult nursing because it would have just boring. I wanted that extra layer of
Yeah.
specialism as well. So, and then she was talking about it. I was like, okay. And then she was like, you need to. She was just telling me everything about it. I was like, actually, I'm interested in this. And then she told me it was a 3-year course. She started it. She's in her second year, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And then I did a bit of research and I was like, actually, this is something that I would like to do. But do you know what? The I think what kicked me back a bit was the fact that it's hard if you just want to do it by yourself, because your employer has to be able to support you to be able to do it. It's not something you can't just sit to. Then I'll talk about that in a bit,
Yeah.
because there's certain requirements that you as the applicant looking to go into that role or specialty field, and requirement from your employer as well,
Yeah.
because they have to be able to support you, because it's very
Absolutely.
intense, it's very hands-on. You need to have a mentor, you need to have someone that is going to be going through your prescribing with you. You're going to be doing portfolio, so it's actually really a lot. It's very intense, so you
Yeah.
can't just say you want to do it on your own time, because if you're working full-time 37.5 hours, it's going to be difficult to combine that,
Yeah.
working 4 or 5 days a week, or 3 long days, 4 long days
Yeah.
a week, and combining that with well, it's part-time study, but I call it full-time because that thing is not part-time.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it can only be part-time because you part of the requirement is you have to be employed. You
Yeah.
can't just apply for the job and just apply to start the course without having a job. You need
A
to be in
job.
a job,
In a job. Yeah.
yes, that is relevant to, or like, something you can actually practice your skills in. And then you need to be able to do both at the same time.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's a lot. So I think that was what sparked my interest. The lady that spoke to me about it, and I did a bit of research, I was like, this is something I like
Good.
to do. But she made it look as though it's completely impossible. She was like, no, it's too competitive, it's not something. She was like, there's a lot of ACPs, there's a lot of people that are
Yeah.
already doing the courses, because this course as well, you can also do like the individual courses, like you can take it
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
individual
Yeah.
courses as
Yeah.
CPDs. But so she said, there are people that already have the assessment course, which is part of the courses you're going to be taking as part of the master's program. There are also people that have the prescribing
Yeah.
already, like community nurses. Those of the community nurses or anyone that works in community will probably have assessment and prescribing
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
They will sponsor them to do that. But it's different when you're doing the entire 3-year program.
Exactly. And
And
that's why
then
I
she was
always
like,
tell people, that if you want to do something, don't just take what you've heard
no,
somewhere and just stick to it and say,
no,
oh,
absolutely
you
not.
need
Don't
to
let people
still put
discourage you,
put
honestly.
in the work and do your own research. It's
Yeah.
really important. So how did you apply for the free funding? How did you now get
So
from the course? Yeah.
applying for the free funding was not really what I personally did.
Okay.
It was through the employer.
Okay.
So initially, right,
So you
when
had to
I
change your employer.
yes, so where I was working previously, there were not really ACP established roles there.
Good.
So I'd seen ACPs, right? But it was not very common. It was just like maybe 1 or 2 departments. So after that conversation with that lady, I started doing my research, like I said. So I was like, okay, ACP roles. But the ACP role comes as a band 8 in most trusts, right? but you need to have been a band 6 or band 7 to be able to be in that role.
Yeah.
Now, bear in mind, I already said that I was a band 6 previously. So my specialist role was a band 6 role. So
Okay.
in that band 6 role, what I did was I then started looking at trainee positions. So there are trainee positions, as in trainee, NEE. There are also
CIA.
INEE.
It's on the flyer as well.
Yes, so trainee roles, and there are also like
Added
trained.
an extra hisha. E for echo.
So you can either go into the role as a trainee or
Mm-hmm.
as a trained.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't know about the trainee route or the trainee positions. Most people just think you need to like do this, do this, do this, get everything done, and then go into the job role. But this particular one, if you search, you literally go on Track or Health Jobs UK and you Google trainee advanced clinical practitioner. It would be as clinical, not advanced nurse practitioner. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
You would see loads. So at the time, I just started searching, right? And I saw different ACP roles in different specialty. And I was like, the only one that could really resonate with me was frailty. There's gastro, there's hematology, there's ICU, there's ED, like most, but it was not in my hospital at the time. So, and then I was open to moving because I think you've actually said it before. One of the best hack in career
Mm-hmm.
improvement or career advancement is being open to exploring other
I'm
opportunities in
feeling
other
myself.
trusts.
I'm feeling myself.
Honestly, because if you're going to wait until a position opens in your own hospital, you're just
You
going to
might
be
wait
there for a long
forever.
time. You'll be
That.
there because there's going to be a lot of people on the queue. But the thing I've
Mm-hmm.
noticed in the UK is that trusts, hospitals like to explore other talents and other skills from
Exactly.
like outside of the hospital as well.
Mm-hmm.
You might be in a particular ward and your manager would put up an interview for a role and they would probably bring someone from outside
Mm-hmm.
instead because they want that fresh idea, fresh
Mm-hmm.
mindset. But that aside, right? So all I did was basically applied for the job. You have to just apply for the job. If it's a trainee job, apply for the job, and then obviously meet all the requirements, which we'll be talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get the job, it comes as a caveat that you have to, it's more like a, what will I say, this KPI thing that you have to
Mm-hmm.
meet, like
Yeah,
as
key
part of your,
performance. Yeah, key performance
yes.
indicators.
So
Yeah.
part of your job role involves you going to school and starting the master's course and
Mm-hmm.
finishing as well
Mm-hmm.
within a time space or a period of time, which is 3 to 5 years. The course itself is for 3 years in most schools, but they'll give you a grace of 5 years because some people can start and stop in between. So, and then once you get accepted to the job or on the job, you would obviously be automatically funded because it comes with all the information. They will tell you that the role is funded, you do your master's degree, and then they would sponsor you, blah, 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 all of that, all included. So I did
Beautiful.
not personally apply for funding. It came straight up with the job.
With the application.
Exactly.
Beautiful, beautiful. So what were the requirements that you were then asked for?
Okay, so that would definitely be assessed when you put in your application. So I would say when you want to, if anyone is looking to apply for this sort of role, obviously you have to be if it's a band 7 role, you have to be a band 6 first. You have to work your way up. I know part of the major requirement was that you have to have an experience for at least 5 years in the UK.
Okay.
So if you have, well, I think 5 years of nursing, because I know there are people that have actually gotten the job that did not have 5 years in the UK.
Okay.
There was a lady I know, she has, I think, 3 years in the UK, and
Okay.
she's an ACP trainee at the moment. So I'm going to read what the requirements say from my university, because obviously universities are different, but I think they've got standards anyway. And
What's
one
the
of the
name of
standards,
your university?
my university, my university is University of Coventry.
Okay.
So I'm a Cov girl. And so the requirements I would go through, I think because they've also got different pathways, right? They've got general requirements, and then they've got requirements for specific specialty, because you can be an ACP in neonatal, you can do pediatrics, you can do mental health. I did adult nursing. I'm an adult nurse, so I would give you what the requirements are. So first thing, you must be a registered health practitioner. So what I was saying earlier about ACP and ANPs, the difference, I think is part of the things we're also going to be talking about.
Yeah.
So advanced clinical practitioner, it's just an umbrella term for anyone that is registered, and a registered health professional that is in an advanced role, basically. So you can be a nurse. My mentor is a physio. You can be a paramedic. You could be any allied health professional as well, as long as you're registered. It's a registered health professional role in the UK. It's just called ACP. I think they changed that recently, because it's not just nurses that can do the role, basically. So as long as you're a registered healthcare professional, that's one of the requirements. Another thing is you need to have a minimum of 5 years and a minimum of 2 years experience in your current specialty. So even if you have 5 years nursing experience, you need to have had 2 years in that, because I am currently ACP in frailty. So I had more than 2 years experience in frailty, to be fair. But you have to be able to evidence that. It's not just about saying it or writing it down in your application.
Yeah,
And
course,
the application,
obviously.
I think, is very, very in-depth. The application process, the interview process, oh my God, that alone is another side, but that's what we're talking about today. But yes, that's one of it. Another thing is you must be working at least 30 hours a week. So you can't do 20 hours part-time. You have to even be in, well, technically a full-time, doing full-time hours to be able to imagine. I don't even know why that's a requirement, because how can it be saying you're working full-time and then be doing this course at the same time? Well, to be honest, it's really intense, but talk about that later. And then you must also have full support and engagement of your line manager, which is very, very key. You would need, I can't overemphasize this, I can't stress this enough. You definitely need the support of your employer and your manager to be able to do it, because things like study leave, you're going to need it, because you need study days, because you have fixed study days. This course can also be online or blended, like mixed, both online and face-to-face, but my current pathway is face-to-face, and every other person that's gone through in my trust is face-to-face. So imagine if you don't have study leave to be able to attend classes, and then you need to have at least 20 hours of self-directed study. That is time where you have to sit down to do your own personal studying. It's actually a lot. You need that support from them. Also, because you're going to be needing a mentor as well. But if your job says trainee, that is already established within the job. You have a mentor, you have all of that all in place. It's different for when people are doing it by themselves and self-funding. They have to strive. Sometimes I've seen people have to go to other department to go and find someone to shadow, or a doctor to shadow for prescribing, things like that. They have to do the extra work. But if you're in a training role, you're kind of like blessed, so to say, because everything is already put in place for you, and it just makes it easier. So that's it. You need support from your line manager and your employer, and you must have an identified senior clinical mentor. Very, very
You need a
important.
mentor, of course.
You literally have to submit a form for that. You need to submit to the university. They have to be assigned with their registration number and everything, that you have a mentor. Obviously, it can change over the course of the years, because I've seen people change their mentors as well.
If it's not,
but you need somebody.
them.
Exactly.
It's not mentoring.
You must have a mentor. So like I said, my mentor is a physio, but I'm a nurse. So, but then again, because it's a team, it's kind of like a big team. There are other people there. You can always get experience, and, there are people there to support you, really. And you also need to hold an honors degree in a health-related discipline, and you must evidence continuous professional development. So you can't just say you've been a nurse for the last 5 years, you've not done anything to improve, you've not taken extra courses. You need to show that you've improved yourself over the years as well. You've taken courses. And I always advise people, a lot of people that I talk to, a lot of people that I kind of like mentor, that you literally have to continue to improve yourself. Where is our host gone? I think we have. She has disappeared on me.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Just go on. Give me 1
Okay.
second.
So, continuous professional development is very important. I would advise people to take courses. So there are free courses. If you go to most university and you search for free courses, there are loads of free courses, especially the practice assessor and the practice supervisor course. If you haven't done it, I would advise you to do it. It's free, completely free. It's very long and lengthy. It's online and it's free because it would push your application further, especially for those who are not like trained in the UK. If you're not trained in the UK, you have to do the extra work. So for nurses that train in the UK, they already have that embedded in their study and in their course. They automatically graduate with practice supervisor and practice assessor certifications. But for us that we have immigrated to the UK, you have to take that course and add it because it will show that you also have a certificate or the knowledge to be able to become a mentor, an assessor in an healthcare setting, and also a supervisor. So the supervisor is basically like a mentor. When you have people come, like even as a senior nurse or a more experienced, even as a band 5, because I did these courses when I was even a band 5.
Yeah,
I think yes.
I did mine when
So
I was
I
a
did.
band 6.
You did it. Was it online as well? Was it free?
Yeah, it was free, sponsored by my employer, and it was face to face, not
Mine,
online. We went for the
I
class.
literally searched for it myself and I just did it because, like I said, I was always like trying to find ways to improve.
I
So
did
it
the
was not
two: practice supervisor,
practice the
practice
assessor.
assessor,
It's very long.
appraisal, how to do appraisal. I did those set of trainings before I even became a band 7. Yeah, when I
Really?
was band 6.
Yeah, so when I got this job, my manager literally had to email me to ask me to send the certificate to prove that I actually have it. I was like, oh my God, where is it? I can't find it. I've been writing it on my applications, but I can't remember when last I saw that certificate. So I had to go and search for it. So it's very important. Another thing is you must be able to provide 2 references as well, academic and employer reference. So they didn't really ask me for that because
1 second, please. If you have questions, put your questions. I said it earlier when I started. On the bottom right corner of your screen, there's an icon that has the question. Okay, go there and put your questions. Everything you have, put it there. Oh, question about the practice assessor or practice supervisor, how to search for it. Fine, put it there, and we're going to respond to them much later. Okay, I don't want to interrupt her. Okay, thank you. So go on.
okay. So, yeah, I think I was talking about the references, but they didn't really ask me for the reference when I was applying to university because obviously that was part of the job process. So some things would be looked, they would just look over it because you've done it as part of your job application. So your manager will just provide that information instead. And then, so depending on the specific pathway you then decide to go, then there are specific requirements. But this is just general, especially for adult nurses.
Okay.
And the fees and funding, that's something we should talk about.
Yes.
How much it costs?
Yes.
How much the UK government is paying? So it's actually £11,200.
Wow. So you got free £11,200 funding.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
After all my years,
you have
serving the
ended.
NHS, I think is well deserved.
That's lovely.
Yeah,
Well
but
done.
it's a part-time role, like I said, it's part-time, but I don't think anyone can do it full-time. It's not possible. It's not even available as full-time. It's only available as part-time.
Yeah, because you have to work and you have
3 years, not just 1 year. It's not just the 1 year that you do. So that
3
course
years
that you do masters for 1 year is different. If you're doing advanced clinical practice, it's 3 long years. And the 3 years, you're going to be doing 10 modules, 10 courses in total. So it's very long.
Wow.
So I didn't mention at the end of the 3 years, especially if it's a training course, you automatically become a band 8A. So it's automatic. They will do all your insurances or your indemnity for your prescribing, and then you just go straight on to become a band. So you don't need to interview again.
Okay, for your training,
all of that.
For your training, the prescribing course, is it automatically part of your training,
Yes.
or you have to apply again for the prescribing course?
No, so it's part of the MSc program,
Okay.
and but some people already have the prescribing before they come. Some people already have health assessment, as long as they can evidence that and they can show that they've done it.
Okay.
What they do is, because there are different pathways. So there's the generic, there's general, there is, I think, quite a few, but I'm on the generic pathway, which means that I don't have my prescribing. So
Okay.
I haven't got prescribing qualification. I don't know how I
Mhm.
got this job because a lot of people just a whisper there, but they knew I didn't have it and they took me anyway. So I have colleagues that I work with that are community matrons. They already have their prescribing. They've done the assessments, so they're on a different pathway. In my course at the moment, my class colleagues at the moment, some of them, because most of them are paramedics, some of them work with 111. Like most of them are not even
Yeah.
really all that clinical. And some of them already have their prescribing and all that. So they're on different pathways. They're on the general pathway. So depending on what you have, all of that would be reviewed during the application process, because when you submit your application you have to show the evidence and then they will then put you on the right pathway. So yeah,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
the prescribing, can I say, takes is 2 modules, so
Okay.
it's very long as well. So it's the all intense course. You do prescribing one and then you do the second prescribing as well,
Okay.
and then I think that's in the
How
second
long
year, and then
does it
it's
take? How many months does the module
three
for the
months Each
prescribing?
module is 3 months, but you're going to be doing
3 months.
two of
So
it.
that means
So
6 months.
yes. And then after that, as soon as you've done your prescribing and you've gone through all the insurance, because they do a lot of, the hospital has to be able to absorb all your insurance and all of that, to say that they're going to be responsible for you as a prescriber. That's a whole different process that I haven't gone through yet, but
Okay.
I've heard what the process is like. You have like a whole scope of your prescribing scope and all of that. You cannot prescribe outside your scope. So as soon as you're able to do that, you can then work independently. You don't have to. So at the moment, I have to work with my mentor closely. You can work like on your own, but you still need somebody to, like, be there, so to say. But as soon as you get that prescribing done, because your third year and the prescribing is in second year, so after the second year, you're literally on your own. You're working like a junior doctor on the wards, and that's it. And then obviously there are people there to support.
Yeah.
And then in your third year, you're just doing like research and all of that. So yeah,
Beautiful. Wow. So what's the pay like for ACPs,
I don't think
ANPs?
there's anything to hide there, because the UK is very transparent. As long as you're in a particular band, everyone knows what you're earning.
Okay.
So do I actually know what I get paid?
Hey, see problem.
Let's Google it, because now it keeps changing. You never
Yeah.
know. It keeps changing. But I'm currently a band 7, right? And so the current band 7 pay in the
It's not
NHS,
46.
because they increased recently. I'm not keeping tabs, to be honest.
It should be
But let's
around
see.
46 to 47.
Let's see.
46
Let's see. Yeah,
to
it should be
47K.
46.
Yeah.
Is it 46? Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would know.
So it should be between 46 to
Yes,
47K.
yes,
And
it's correct.
I think when you get to the band 8 AC, then you'll be going to your
53.
53 to 81, I think, or 82.
53 to
82K per annum.
60. 60.
But do you
Actually,
know? But do you know that we agencies, that's where the money
of
is.
course, I have
Agencies recruit ACPs a
absolutely
lot, and they pay,
NPs in the
yeah,
GP. So
yeah.
most of my colleagues work, like, they do this out of hours bank
Mm-hmm.
roles, because the course would make you like top there. You can work anywhere, to be honest. You
Yeah.
have that hands-on skills, all those like high level
Mm-hmm.
skills that you can do. You can basically do anything in the hospital. You're being trained and you can work like a doctor. So I see
Yeah.
patients on the ward. I'll talk about what I do on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
So doing all of that, there's no way you can work. I have a colleague right now. Is because of his prescribing. He's been an ACP for years now. I think
Wow.
6 years. So right now is started his aesthetics thingy. So now he
Okay.
does all these
Botoxing.
injections, fillers. He's into aesthetic
Clinical.
nursing now.
Hey, see
And
money.
that's just his own side hustle and he's making money. Like,
Wow.
clearly, you can work in the GP. He's worked in the GP as well. He's literally worked everywhere. He's worked with bed, the site office, overnight nursing,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, hospital at home,
Mm-hmm.
especially GPs. He does bank in the GP as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you go to the GP these days, you can either see an NP, nurse
Yeah.
practitioners, or you
We
see a GP
even have a
doctor.
nurse practitioner in the theater, surgical nurse practitioner in the
Yeah,
theater.
yes.
That's what I'm looking at later. So in the theater, they can do some surgical procedures. I have a friend on it. I might bring her. I will talk to her. She's not the social media
Yeah,
person,
an
but
NP as well.
yeah, she does
Yeah.
surgery. She does some
You
surgery.
are,
Though they have
yeah,
limitations,
hands
but
on.
yeah, yeah.
So, like I was trying to say, so on the day-to-day activities, so like as an ACP in frailty, part of my job, say if it depends on where I'm working for the day. If I'm working on the ward, I would basically be part of the board round. So the board round where they give handovers for the doctors and the doctors have to go through each patient and say they're
Mhm.
medically fit or whatever. And then after that, you then go and do the ward round as well. After the board round, you do the ward round. You have to see your patient. You have to review the patient
Yeah.
holistically, every single thing,
Mm-hmm.
medications. At the moment, I can't prescribe, so I cannot really. That's why I can't work on my own because
Yeah.
you have to review medications as well, do everything, see the patient from top to bottom, do full health assessment, do diagnostics. So there are 4 pillars for this ACP job or role per se. So as an advanced clinical practitioner, the 4 pillars are advanced
Mm-hmm.
assessments, diagnostics as well, because you assess, you
Yeah.
diagnose. Part of it is also leadership and then
Management.
research.
Mm-hmm.
So all the 4 of it.
No wonder you were saying
Sort
good
of
stuff. Good stuff. I
yes,
think I mentioned those in
because I saw
in
your
my
video
video.
and then you're like dropping stuff. I was like,
Yeah,
are you
I
sure
do
you're
my
not an advanced?
research. I don't
Are you sure
play.
you're not an
I
ACP?
don't play with my research.
No, no, no. You did good. You did good. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't joke with those 4 pillars. Any ACPs you talk to, like the 4 pillars is literally part of your because we do these regular yearly reviews that you have to have do reflections. You need to have what's the thing that they do when
No.
feedbacks as well, and you need
Mm-hmm.
to be able to evidence your all
Your
the four
feedbacks.
pillars.
Yeah.
So most of the because I'm training, right? So I'm still classed as a junior
Yeah.
level for the next 3 years till I don't know how old would I be when I'm done. Oh my god. I'm thinking about my
The most
age.
important part is that you're on it.
3 years. Oh my god. Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, it's a good opportunity and
Okay.
I'm very happy about it. And it's always something that I wanted to do at the time as well. So I was like, you know what? I want to be an advanced clinical practitioner. Right. I want to be
I
doing all
think
this
this next
stuff.
question, we already talked about it. We already talked about how to get the ANP role. You did mention via track. Is there any other way we can check it if we're looking
So
for the
any
role?
job application platform, if you search, and it's not just in the NHS, but the thing with private is no one has the time to then bring you on and start training you.
They are
They want you
about
already
the money.
cooked. They want you ready to do the job.
Yeah.
So people do these courses on an individual basis as
Mm-hmm.
well. So there are 3 pathways. You can either do individually, you can do the apprenticeship route, you can also do the CPD route, which
Okay.
is the
Training.
health education in and funded pathway. So
Okay.
if you do it individually, you can have your health assessment and you can have your prescribing. And with that, you can work as an NP. You
Okay.
don't really need to do the entire masters. I've met a lot of nurse practitioners, even in the GPs, that they only have prescribing. Some of them only have their health assessments, and
Mm-hmm.
some of them have a combination of both. So those two, and then as long as you can assess, you can put in a primary diagnosis, and then you can prescribe. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have that, then I think that would work, to be
Okay.
honest.
So what's the difference between the apprenticeship pathway and the trainee pathway?
So this thing, yeah, when I put in my
Because
application,
I talked more about the apprenticeship in my
yes,
video.
yes.
Yeah, so I wanted
There's
us
not
to.
really massive difference. It's just
Mhm.
how it has been said in the ACP community. So the difference majorly is the funding, where the
Mhm.
money is coming from, who is funding you. Is
Mhm.
it the apprenticeship levy pot or is it the HEU? But the entire course is not apprenticeship pathway. It's just where the money is coming from. So if you're being funded by HE England, which is the easiest route,
Mm-hmm.
the master's course, the master's route. If you're doing the apprenticeship pathway, there's like extra layers and layers of things you have to do. I know when we go to classes, there's always codes on the presentation board where they say, okay, for the apprenticeship student, you need all these codes. I'm like, but I remember when I started the job, before I started uni, a lot of people in my colleagues will always ask, do you know which one are you doing? Are you doing the CPD route or are you doing the apprenticeship route? I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what's the difference? And they'll be like, well, make sure you don't do the apprenticeship route because it's just a little bit harder.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like it's harder, it's the same thing you do. It's just extra layer of requirements. You need to do extra courses. There's like just extra layer of everything in there. I'm like, just I want to do the straight pathway, and then you have to then bring everything together. It's
Yeah.
like you're doing it individually. You
Yeah.
have to get approved individually each
Mm-hmm.
one as you go. But if you're doing the masters, the entire thing, pew, done, dusted,
Okay.
finished. So they kind of scared me in the beginning, but I have a lot of apprenticeship funded colleagues in school, and
Okay.
we do the same thing.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. So what are the sort of challenges that you've faced since you started? And in nursing generally in the UK?
Plenty. Number one, imposter syndrome.
Oh.
Number one, because the team is very advanced,
Mm-hmm.
I must say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these
Of course,
guys
it's
are
advanced. It's like
exactly.
you know
But
what
because
you were
you're
getting
coming in
yourself
as a
into.
trainee, right? And depending on where your experience is from, the team is very diverse as well and mixed. We have people from different backgrounds, people that have done resuscitation, people that have done ICU, more acute knowledge, more acute experience. If you're doing if you're really, because the team is frailty is geriatrics. So if you have geriatric experience like that, you won't really have as much acute experience, if you get
Yeah.
what I mean. Because
Mm-hmm.
in geriatrics, it's not really as acute as working in ICU.
Yeah.
So I've come from like thick of geriatrics, and then I'm working with people that have got ICU
And yeah,
background.
I
These
like,
guys can intubate.
mhm.
These guys can.
Hello,
These guys have
can
their
you
four
see me?
years ELS. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Imposter syndrome is the number one problem
Mm-hmm.
because you're just gonna feel like, oh my god, how did I get here? Like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. You guys, like, everyone knows everything and you don't know anything.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I think it will just take a bit of time to adjust and just calm down and adjust. And it's actually really overwhelming as well because they just throw everything at you. There's a lot of training competencies to go through. And then because I was moving from a different trust, I had to do most of them all over again.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of my challenges as well, having to redo
Your
everything.
mandatory
I just
training,
feel
isn't
like
it?
it's completely unnecessary and it was just complete waste of time
Mm-hmm.
because if I can show you that I've done it before, why is it not enough? But
Exactly.
because of the differences in the trust, blah blah blah, they want you to do everything again. Number
Mm-hmm.
two, imposter syndrome. Like I said, you just don't feel like you're enough, especially if you're in a team mixed with really advanced practitioners, people that are very confident in different
Yeah.
aspects, people that have been managers for years, people that have been matrons. One of my fellow trainee, she's literally a matron in the community, and we are both trainees together and we
Mm-hmm.
are both on the same course. So it's like, and then when a topic comes up and people are like dropping things and
And
you're
you're
like, oh my
like,
God.
yeah.
And, and then it's very tasking because you get to work with the consultants. You're literally working hand in hand with the
Mm-hmm.
consultant. You're the ones reviewing the patient. You're the one coming to the consultant to say, this is my primary diagnosis. And then they either agree with you
Mm-hmm.
or they change the diagnosis or they, do further
Yeah.
tests and all. You can request test all of this. You need to be able to read x-rays.
Hey,
Right
from
now we can't do CTs and all of that, but
wow.
depending on your scope, your prescribing medication, it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that imposter syndrome, my mentor literally had to sit me down and say, Esther, just calm down, right? Don't stress. Like, I was a physio. Imagine being a physio and becoming an advanced clinical practitioner. She
Mm-hmm.
said the transition for her was also like from here to
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
She was not even a nurse. So imagine
Yeah.
her working acutely,
Mm-hmm.
doing catheterizations, ABGs, all of
Yeah.
these things. She didn't used to do that. She was just a physio, just bones and movement and
Yeah,
exercises.
exactly.
And now she had to upskill. So it's that
Mm-hmm.
upskilling part that I feel like is biggest challenge, really.
Okay.
Is really hard, and transitioning as well. But if you have people around you that are going to support you, people that, and to be honest, people will say, yeah, we're here, we're here, we're here. You need to be the one to go to them and like, please help me.
Exactly.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to, like, if you ask now, they'll be like, because that thing was actually affecting me at some point. But sometimes they'll ask something, you know the answer, but you don't want to say because you don't want
I
to be
know.
wrong,
I know.
right? Or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I see, even because everyone has different experience in different areas. So
Yeah.
somebody that's worked in cardiology for the last 5 years doesn't have any experience on the ward at all. But because she's more advanced than you are and she probably have more experience as an ACP,
Yeah.
you think she knows it all. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes my colleagues will be like, they're doing something. I'm like, no, that's not how to do
Mm-hmm.
it. Or they're asking questions and they don't know. And I'm like, actually, I do know this thing. But you
Ah.
don't want to speak up because you're like, you know, please, I'm new here. I'm a junior. But honestly, I had to just, work on myself, do away with the imposter syndrome, become
Beautiful.
more confident. And then with time, you just adjust to it. And then
Yeah.
before you
You
know
you
it,
you got
when they come,
this.
excuse me, is that an ACP on yet? Hello, yes, I'm
Hello,
here.
Sheva.
Excuse me,
Oh
I'm
my God,
here.
it's our
How can I help?
boss.
And then I think another major challenge is where, because the role is not very established. I think it's established, but it's not well known to
Mm-hmm.
people, even patients. So sometimes when I go to see patient, I'm like, hello, my name is Esther. I'll be looking after you today. I'm one of the advanced clinical practitioners,
And they're like,
and
you're not a
I'm
doctor.
basically
You are not a nurse. Who are
exactly. And they're
you?
like, oh, so are you a doctor?
And you're
Because
like,
once they say with
are you
stethoscope,
a
they're like,
nurse?
okay, you're a doctor. I am not a
Na
doctor.
na collabo.
Exactly, that's the word. But how do you explain it to the patient that it's not collabo? I'm not a doctor, but I'm also not the nurse looking after you. I'm like, I'm just saying. So
I
I
get
just
it.
tell them, I basically try to
Mm-hmm.
explain to them, like, well, I'm not a doctor, right? But I do everything that a doctor can do. And
Mm-hmm.
I basically will be assessing you. I would be looking after you the entire. If you have any questions for me, ask me, blah blah blah. I
Yeah.
just try to make them understand the difference. That I'm not, because if you can't say you're a doctor,
Yeah.
because they would think that a doctor has seen them, blah, and
Mm-hmm.
you're not a doctor.
Yeah.
But obviously,
Yeah.
if there's anything you're not clear about, you don't know, you
I
have
think
to,
there
like I said,
needs
you're
to
working
be
with
a
consultants.
sort of
There's
awareness around this for patients,
no.
but it's because
Before
it's
I
not
got this
really
job, I didn't
fair.
even know what's called
Yeah, it's
ACP.
not.
I didn't know
Yeah, it's
anything
not
like
really
that.
fair on the
No, people don't
patient. Yeah.
know. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's a big challenge. I have to explain this thing, I don't know, like 10 times every single day. And then even after you finish explaining and you walk out, the next thing, doctor,
As long as you have stethoscope in UK, you're a doctor, my
doctor,
darling.
please
Let's
stop
take
calling
some
me back.
questions. It's been so amazing, so insightful, so beautiful, honestly.
Okay.
Even I was, when I told you that, oh, I shared a video, you're like, oh, you shared a video already. So we don't, no, we need to, because there are two different things. I'm coming from the theoretical part. I have read it, I have read the research, but I need someone that is actually on it to confirm if what I have read and shared is actually what's going on. Yeah, so it's beautiful to actually have you here. Thank you so
Thank you very
much.
much for having me.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've got some questions here. And Queen Pemu said that how much does it cost to do masters in nursing? Okay, this is different. This is not masters in nursing. This is ACP course. So you have to look that up. I'm sorry. I'm only taking questions related to this. And Sonia Issa said, does being a practice assessor cover the practice supervisor one?
No, they're
No.
different.
Yeah, she
They're
said,
two different things.
okay, she said, I did a practice assessor training and I have a certification for that, but I don't know if it covers. No, but I know a supervisor is junior to an assessor.
Yes.
So you need the two for this course, did you
So
say?
you need it
Yeah,
too,
so
but if
you
you
can do
have
the
a practice
two.
assessor certificate, you should have done a practice supervisor,
Supervisor.
because supervisor, a band five can be a supervisor as
Mm-hmm.
long as you have, like, if you're a nurse on the ward and you have student nurses come on the ward,
Yeah,
the fact that you are, working with them, you're
yeah, assess.
basically mentoring them.
Mm-hmm.
That's you doing being a supervisor. An
Mm-hmm.
assessor for example, a manager would usually be an assessor. I
Yeah.
was actually fighting to do that course when I was still a band 5, but they
Mm-hmm.
would only ask you to do the supervisor, or they would give you the opportunity for the supervisor within
Yeah.
the hospital, but they will not really say, they will tell you that, oh, unless you're a band 6 or your manager,
Mm-hmm.
but all of that, see, I just went
My
ahead.
community, you people are not, you are very
I did.
stingy. Oh.
I
You not
went
even
straight up.
buy badge for my guest. And she has been talking since. She has been talking, sharing a lot of fires. And just giving her emoji. You not give her money. You people are not playing
You're
with your
giving
money.
me emoji. So the
Mm-hmm. So it's
assessor
not the same.
one is
Yeah.
more, obviously is more I would say advanced, I would say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who want to know, I did mine with Anglia Ruskin University. I basically
Okay.
just Googled Anglia
Angela
Ruskin.
Ruskin.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
because I was in Essex at the time. So Anglia Ruskin is one of the universities in Essex. So
Okay.
I Googled which university currently offers the course, and I went on it and I did it.
Okay.
Since they did not
And for me,
want me
I
to
did
do it.
my own employer was the one who sponsored mine. And I think
Yeah.
I did it too. The two was available for us actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did it too as
So
well, but it was
so if you
separate.
so the best way, Kemi's Aki, but a badge. Thank you, Kemi. Thank you very much. So for me, I did mine with my employer, my previous employer, before I became a band 7, when I was still a band 6 in the theater. And the way I found out was that on our board, we always have this information board around in the theater, in the department, that the practice development team they put to let you
Oh,
know
that's
what
good.
trainings are available for you to enroll for, because you have to enroll. If you don't enroll, you're on your own. No one will
And you
talk
don't
you.
have to be on a queue. You
No,
know, you have to be on
no,
a queue most of
no.
those courses.
You don't have to be on a
Oh,
queue.
good.
So no one will tell you, oh, come and take this course. No one will force you if you don't want to do anything, but they will put it there. Yeah. So it's up to you to say, oh, so that day I was just walking on the corridor, because I always look at that information board. Sometimes I don't have the chance to go through my email.
Yeah.
Sometimes they send you an email as well to inform you that, oh, these courses are available. Do you want them? Olalua, thank you. You got a
Oh,
badge.
yeah.
So they're gonna put it there that these courses are available in your email. Sometimes I don't have the time. It's always crazy in the theater. A
And
whole
sometimes you
day.
have to put yourself out for it as well.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
keep
yeah.
asking for
These
time.
badges are coming in now. I've insulted you people. Now you're showing
They're
up.
showing
Okay,
you, they're proving
thank
you
you,
wrong.
Nancy. Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, so I just saw it on the board and I literally sent an email to them. I am interested in this course. I'm available on this date. Even if you're not available, you just tell your manager that you want to take this course, and your manager will
But
make you available,
you know, it's
because you are.
different though. It's
Mm,
different in different areas because some
yeah, so you are
people,
entitled to study leave. You can use a study leave to take that course.
yes,
So
true.
the my own trust sponsor this. So find out
That's
first
good.
from your employer if they have it available. If they are sponsoring you to do it, they'll give you a certificate at the end. I think it literally took about 3 or 2 hours. Even it wasn't that long. Yeah, a lot of us were out of the department that day to go and take the course. Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's good.
just check your practice development team if they have anything on board for you, and you can always enroll for it. Inform your manager. If not, go through universities like you just mentioned. You can even check out CN if you have our CN registration. Some of them
Yes,
provide these
they've got
trainings.
courses
So
as well and trainings.
actually they offer some of these trainings that you might be able to do it for free. So just explore all of the opportunities available for you. And I think in the video I shared on YouTube regarding this particular information that we're talking about, I also shared some universities that you go through to apply for this course. But you then need to discuss with your employer. But I think when you're trying to
Yes.
apply, because I try to apply actually, when you're trying to apply, you will then be still directed to your employer.
Yes.
So if your employer is not offering it, then you can now go out and say, okay, my employer, since you're not offering it, no problem, and just go apply to another trust. Okay, so that's literally it for for this pathway. Okay, is there any other thing you want us to know before we close up, because we're almost done? Let me
I
look
have
at this question. One second. I
questions.
think we have some more questions. Sorry. And she said, where can I get? I've already answered that. We've answered that question. It's about getting the practice assessor or supervisor course, and we've talked about it.
But that's not the only course though. I hope people are
It's
not thinking
not a course, it's just
that's
like a
the only thing
module.
you have to do
It's
to
just
get
like
all
a
this pattern.
training. No,
It's
it's
just
just like
one of the
a
things you can do to
yeah,
upskill, but there's so many other things you can do. It's just
yeah.
one thing I mentioned because that was
Mm-hmm.
not, yeah, it was something
Exactly.
I had to go out of my way to
Don't
do.
worry. you can always watch this video again if you have joined us in the middle and you've missed the best part of it. You can always watch this again. I will save this video after this live session, okay? It will also be on my YouTube channel so you can watch it. And does one have to be a band 6 only before venturing into this pathway, into the ANP role?
Yeah, I don't think you can skip a band. If so, some trusts actually offer this as a 6/7. Some offer it as 7/8. I wanted to mention it earlier. So if the whoever is offering it as a 6 or 7, right? I don't know, it's possible, but it depends on the requirements and what they're asking for. Obviously, go through the job description and what the person's specification is saying as well. So if they say you have to have a band experience as a band 6, then if it's essential or if it's desirable. To me, I just apply. I give myself, I shoot my shot.
I am desirable.
Yeah, I actually shoot my shot. And the
I am
funny thing is that
essential.
this job role is the first ACP trainee that I actually applied to.
Wow,
I
and you
think
got
what gave me an edge is because, I also applied, I saw gastro, I saw hematology. I was like, I've never worked in hematology. I've never worked. So I was looking, I didn't really, I was not really too ginger, but immediately I saw fruits, I just jumped on it. Okay, yeah, this is my food. I can do fruits. But it wasn't very common. So
in total, the ACP takes 3 years to complete.
Yes,
beautiful, confirmed.
But some people you can take time off in between, like for pregnancy, maternity, things like that. I have like colleagues that would take breaks, but you have to finish it within 5 years at least. That was our requirement.
So this person said, hello, Innocent, thank you for bringing such an insightful session to us. You're welcome. I'd like to know what info is available for a senior practitioner who would love to do the ACP course. Do I need to look for a training role related to surgical practice?
Is the person currently a surgical?
If you're in the surgery, you have to look for something related to surgery.
Yes.
And I think you heard when I said I have a friend who is a surgical MP.
Better.
I'll speak to her. I actually remember that this afternoon. Like, wait, this guy, did you escape me? I have not brought you. So I'm going to speak to her. She's not really a social media. A lot of people I want to bring on, but they are not. They're like, I'm sorry. I'll tell you what you need to know, but I don't want to come. Right? So, so I'll talk to her. If she's happy, she'll come on. If she's not, I'll get the information and share it. But yeah, I would try to do that. Okay. How often do you attend uni weekly?
Once weekly. They would always emphasize that you've got to do self-directed study of about 16 to 20 hours. So most of the course is self-directed. When they come to class, if we're talking, say currently I'm doing advanced health assessment and we're doing the neuro system, they expect that you would have done all the back work to do all your anatomy, refresh your physiology, anatomy, and all of that. And now we're coming to talk about health assessment in that system. So there's a lot of self-study, to be honest, but it was once a week I do uni.
Thank
but
you.
I get study days.
Okay, you have studied. Yeah. Thank you so much for me, MJ. My namesake. You've been so amazing. Like, stuff. You've just been throwing stuff here and there. You're so loaded. You just want to tear it. And I want you guys to follow it for me, MJ, especially if you're interested in this pathway. I have encouraged her to also give us a video on YouTube that details this.
I'm working on that. I will.
She's going to give us a video on YouTube, which is also going to be Fumi MJ, that details everything you need to know more. I'm going to share this video.
Says how to prep for the interview, even the application. It starts from when you submit the application. Your application has to be loaded. It can't be just. And then the interview process is very intense. That's another.
So she's going to give you all of that. I've told her that everything we want to be hearing now is my life as ACP. A day in the life of an advanced nurse practitioner training. Advanced nurse practitioner training going on lunch.
Come to school with
terrible. Another person has bought you a badge.
I'll try.
Thank you, Tere. I'm going to thank all of you again at the end of this session. So it's been very insightful. Even I have learned so much, and you have inspired me. Do you know how much? Do you know I've given up on my MSc? I'm like, the next masters I want to do is master's bedroom. I'm already in the master's bedroom. I'm not bothered again.
So now you want to do masters.
But now You've gingered me to say, okay, let me look into it. Let me see. Maybe one day I'll not be PhD, but it's that PhD I don't think I want to do at all. But
You
that's
can do
why it's good.
DNP.
But that's why
DNP.
that's why
You know,
it's very
you're
good.
also a USRN, so you can look into doing
Yeah, someone
DNP. That's
actually
what I
asked the
wanted to do,
question.
actually.
Someone actually asked the question that is this transferable to USA?
Mm.
You know, that's why a lot of people are not interested in fordering. And I'll say what I would
That was
say is it
also
is.
my
Yeah.
reality as well.
Yeah, I would say it is because any knowledge, anything that you learn as a nurse, yeah, any knowledge that you gain is always useful elsewhere. Now, the only issue you might have is you might have to fill in something. So some of the courses, of course, master's level is master's level everywhere. It's level 7, it's up there. Okay, it's more of assessment, writing dissertation, doing all these things that you have to write essays, right? So if you want to go to another country, then you will need to see which gaps have I missed. It's just like the master's nursing degree that people do without having any background at all in nursing, and they still do
Okay.
that master's course, right? And I have nurses who have actually traveled to the USA. They're taking the NCLEX. They were not nurses at all. They did the MSc. They're taking the NCLEX, and they are in the USA. Some of them even went on the H-1B visa, which is a temporary visa, right? To go and work as nurses. They took the NCLEX. Okay?
Okay.
Some people had issues. Yeah, some people had issues. They could not do it. They were like, oh, maybe they were being told that they could not do it because they had missing gaps. Maybe they only did, you have to do pediatrics. For USA, you have to do
Oh
pediatrics.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
family. Yes.
Family
See,
this,
honestly, this course
maternity, this
NP
and
in the
that.
US is
Exactly. So
massive.
you have to do all of these things as a nurse
Yeah,
because they believe as a nurse, you should be everything, midwifery, know about
exactly.
delivery,
When
obstetrics,
the UK
everything.
is very
Streamlined.
structured,
Yeah.
adult nurse, that's
Yeah,
it,
so
but it's
you
different.
miss anything you miss in your training as a nurse in the UK, you can go back to the ward to say, oh, I want to on your own free time, oh, you can go back on the ward and say, I want to do some hours. Yeah, I want to do some hours in pediatrics. I want to do some
To
hours in
make it up.
ICU. I want to do
Yeah.
some hours in maternity, to make it up.
Mm.
And that is what your
I see.
credentialing body needs to assess. Once you pass your credentialing, your board of nursing have no choice than to take you on. Okay,
Okay.
their own is fill all the gaps necessary. You have every part because you have to do your CES report. We show you how many hours you've done in pediatrics, how many hours you have in obs and gynae, how many hours you have in maybe
Mm.
theater, how many hours you have on the ward, all of those things will be there. Geriatrics, everything will be there. So anyone you have missed, you then need to sort out how to get it. Is that how you do your assessment in the university, or you take some hours on the ward to know that specialty, and it will be signed. It's your CPD hours, it will be signed. That's how you can get it on to be assessed. So now if you're doing the master's training, this ACP, and you want to do MP abroad in USA, for instance, you need to research what are they doing there, right? What are the modules you have to take? What are the ones I already have? The ones you don't have is the one you will have to fill up. So no knowledge is waste. Don't let
No, I
where
don't
you are
think
not
it's
even sure.
wasted.
No,
Yeah, I
don't
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 think
let
it's
where you are not
wasted.
even sure you might go. No, you're not even sure if you will go there. You
True.
will not let it keep you
Yeah,
on
like
a
stop
fixed point
you like
from
seizing the
progressing.
opportunities
Don't
as
don't don't
well.
do that to
Yeah,
yourself.
I
Don't
get that.
look at me. I've gotten my USA RN license since when I was a band 6. Yeah. So now I should now tell myself I don't want to be a band 7 because I'm going to US. Let me just stay in my band 6 and
Mm.
not progress. I will soon leave. No. Now it's been how many years and we are still here. Do you understand?
Yeah,
So
and
you
the
cannot.
experience is still part of you take it with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I know
Literally.
people who went as with masters or who went as high level nurses from the UK and they are working on manager level. They're not working on the same level as someone that has BSc or someone that has a diploma.
Really?
It's not this, it's not like that.
In
Yeah.
the
So
US,
when
it's like
yes,
after.
yes. So
Interesting.
when you're applying for jobs, even your employer will ask if you have a diploma, if you have BSN, or if you have
Yeah.
MSN. So we are not on the same level. Your pay is not the same. Yes, we are registering as all general nurses.
Yeah, it's
Your
not
major
like the UK where everyone is on the same pay
your
level and
requirement
pay scale.
is your
Yeah.
RN or your BSN.
Yeah.
But when it gets to applying for jobs,
And
your master's
negotiating.
counts. You are on an higher level. We are not on the same level. So please don't stop your progress because of a future uncertainty that you're not even sure of, and just keep going. Okay, I think we have gone above time. I did not want this to extend to 1 hour, and we have ended up being 1 hour, but it has been
It's 1 hour. Jeez, I've been
beautiful.
talking for 1
It
hour.
has been beautiful. Trust me, I enjoyed this live session so much, and I know that my audience also did. So I'm
I
gonna
hope
round
you
it
guys
off.
did. I hope you
So
enjoyed it.
we're gonna bring you next time. Maybe you can that time maybe tell us about the interview process. When you
Yep.
need to know, you can brief off on it, O'Neill. Right?
Yes. Of course.
All right,
Absolutely.
guys. That will be
Thank
all
you
for
guys
this
for having
evening.
me.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
MJ.
Follow Fumi MJ. Follow Wuno Road. You want to progress, you cannot want to
Please
progress in your
follow my
career.
YouTube
And
channel.
the only person
Everything
you
is
are
going to be
following is
happening
Don
there.
Jazzy. Do you understand? I don't have anything against Don Jazzy, but I
I
want to see
follow
you
Nori.
are a nurse, you want to progress in your career, but the only person you are just following Don Jazzy to a Savage Whiskey. I don't understand you. You need to follow, like your
Follow
following
Nori.
sometimes they need to see that, oh, she's following this person, oh, then they can determine who you are. You understand?
Okay.
So you need to surround yourself with people that will motivate you to want to get better. So make sure you follow for me, MJ.
Thank you guys.
Subscribe
Thank
to
you
our
very
YouTube
much.
channel, even though
Catch
she
my
has not
channel.
kicked off, but yeah, she's coming up. Let's encourage her. Subscribe to
It's
my
all
YouTube
of that.
channel, Nos MJ TV as well. Follow me, and we just get inspired. I love you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you
To all
guys.
our
Thanks,
badge
babe, for having
buyers.
me.
To all our badge buyers, thank you so much. God
Thank you
bless you. Love you, love you, love
guys.
you, love
See
you.
you soon.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye, love. See you
Bye.
behind the scene.
Bye, babes.
Bye, guys.